1, 2, 3, 4. We are back, finally, for more. It's been a long time since, but that doesn't matter since we're here. Okay, whatever. Anyways, welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video from this. Not that long. Like when I say it's been a while, I don't mean like it's been a while like I did a couple episodes ago when I started this case. I mean like it's been a while as in I recorded a bunch of Fire Emblem stuff, and then I edited and then I uploaded a bunch of Fire Emblem stuff, and then I finally came back to this when the last Fire Emblem episode is being uploaded. So yeah. Anyways, we're finally back to Phoenix Wright now. Like, I'm ready. There's been some other days where I tried to record, but then, oops. but I just wasn't feeling it. Like, I was not feeling it. But I am feeling it now, Mr. Krabs, so there's nothing to worry about. Even though that was... Never mind. Let's just get going. No! Damn it! This is such a beautiful train wreck. I don't even mind. Like, last time I did this, it was a train wreck for a totally different reason. But now I'm actually genuinely enjoying myself. So, right. Last time, we completed the investigation for Turnabout Samurai. That was the day one investigation. We learned some stuff about, like, in the last couple of episodes, we learned some stuff about how, how this case, like, what happened here at the case site. It happened during the murder, and we discovered that somebody else had been at the studios at the time, and we also discovered that we found the picture of the person who walked of Will Powers, quote unquote, walking over to the studio, but it was just somebody in a Steel Samurai costume, and that may very well be our key evidence to winning this case once and for all. But we're gonna have to see now, won't we? Anyways, let's get going. October 18th, 10 a.m., District Court Room number 4. The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That's a different voice than I think I did last time, but I think my bass is coming back into my voice. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. That was awfully peppy, Phoenix. And my volume's really loud. So the music's probably coming in at my speakers too. And the best thing I could do is keep them contained in my ears, but the problem is I won't be able to hear it. Dennett. I'm in a very singing mood too. I just spent like the last not even 2 hours, like 4 hours dancing the Sonic Mania soundtrack. Oh, it was good. I was all sweaty and stuff. Not as bad as like when I first heard that soundtrack. Oh god, that's a whole different story. Whew. Nothing in this world could have kept me from dancing. Even if I paraplegic, I'd be like, swinging my arms around and shit. It'd be great. Anyways, very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that on 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed a fellow actor, Jack Hammers, at Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will point to that fact. I see. Very well, I'd like to move on to your testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. What about my opening statement? I swear to God, like, this series is super inconsistent with opening statements. Like, sometimes we have to do opening statements. Most of the time the prosecution has to do it. But what about me? Am I not allowed to say it? Not that? Like, that's not true. Like, I mean, I guess it's just a given, but like you gotta think that, oh, excuse me about the bite. You gotta think that, like, maybe I'm like, oh yeah, he did do it, but like, it was out of self-defense or something. Like, I gotta plead my case, you know? But nope, that shit doesn't fly in my court. Call the witness, bitch. First, I would like to call Detective Gumshoe to the stand. Hey, pal. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain him with this guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. Why is the employee area outside of the studios? It doesn't make sense, does it? Is that common? The security lady that works at the studios was here at 10 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there's a gate. Past the security station, there's a gate, see? Past that, at the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people there. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the product assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. I'm trying to recast Gumshoe's voice. Like, this is a problem I had last time. I can't remember, alright? This happens. You already know what happens. The only person I seem to be able to get really well is Phoenix. Phoenix is super easy. Just like the generic good guy, but at the same time with a little bit of sass in there. Put some spice. Throw some salt in that shit. Some paprika. I don't know. Some jalapenos. It's gonna taste. I mean, I guess it could work. Paprika. Paprika's the pepper, right? Yeah, okay, that could work. It's gonna be really spicy, but nothing really spicy and kind of salty. That's basically what I'm saying. Gotta. That's basically Phoenix's character, am I right? Throw some I need to close the door. Maybe if I like shuffle this over and then like. No wait. Okay, that didn't work. I'll be back. The quest to not be heard and not to be loud. A mission that I've lived my entire life. It's never gonna happen. My voice is just naturally loud. I can't do anything about it. I try. And then people are opening my doors and not closing them on the way out. It's a bad habit of my grandfather. Of course my voice is gonna travel all the way from my room, from my mouth, not even from my room. From my mouth, around my room, bouncing off the walls and stuff, and then travel through the crack in the wall, in the door, and then all the way through the hallway, and into the other room, bounce around that room a little bit, and then into his eardrums. Like, I don't know why I had to detail that out so much. I'm pretty sure you know how sound waves work, but I was just like, I gotta go with play-by-play sound waves. Anyways, moving on. Right after that, at 10 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now jump ahead later to that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needs to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. Yeah, because that boy got stabbed. He is dead. I would have said dead as a doornail, but I think we can all agree he was the one who got nailed. Anyways. I'm in a kind of punny mood. What I mean to say is that I did one really, really clever egg pun early. Actually, not one. 3 in one sentence. In like 2 sentences. And it was good. It was very, very good. And so I'm feeling myself a little bit. Just a tiny bit. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. There's a steel samurai found lodged in his victim's chest with a murder weapon. That's the case in brief, pal. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to that whole thing again? Sure! Don't do that. Should I listen to that whole thing again? Yeah, that's more or less the voice. It's just my voice, but a little bit higher and full of a little bit more hope, but have a little more gumption in it. That's Phoenix's voice. It's basically it. I spilled the beans. The only mystique left into this voice has been just dashed now. It's more of a, it's less of a voice thing and more of a, it's more of an acting thing. Like I'm putting on a personality more than I am a voice, and that's Like, you know what? That's the point. That's the point. I'm not trying to. It doesn't matter how I sound. I could give Edgeworth a southern accent, but I'm totally not doing that. So long as I capture his character, except giving him a southern accent is not capturing his character. So that's actually very contradictory. Anyways, don't listen again, because he will literally say that whole thing all over again, and it will suck. I think I could probably remember that. Well, the murder weapon with a spear? Yeah, I was just about to say he got medieval on his ass. How medieval? But the judge beat me to it by a split second. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you this case is quite simple if you ask one question, and that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Oh God, you! Will the witness declare her name? My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh, dearie, no need to be for you to be embarrassed. You can just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their name. That's actually true. Even I think I mentioned that back in the in case 2, is that he seems to have a really it started with Red White. I think I might have actually started with April May, maybe, but it started with that Red White, and it's just a trend. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. The first time we heard her first name, though, I kind of dropped that a little bit earlier. To be fair, they did call her the text box since day one. Not since day one. Since we've for a while has said Oldbag, but we didn't know her last name is Oldbag. I'm pretty sure her court record hadn't even updated to say that her name was Oldbag. She's still called the security lady, even though we know her name is Oldbag. I'm just gonna assume Phoenix called her an Oldbag and just so happened to be dead on. And yes, Wendy Oldbag is a pun on Windy Oldbag. Because she's an old woman who talks all the time. Oh, speak of the devil. Oldbag, we're not really there. They're the children who used to make fun of me. Believe it? There was this boy and captain of the... Somebody called me Oldbag. I cried and... Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. Shut the fuck up. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. Only I can do that. He doesn't actually do that very often. Well, I mean, he rambles, but he doesn't ramble that much, you know? He doesn't have the... I'm gonna keep talking for 10 hours, speech pattern. Which is something that quite a few characters have. Well, when I say quite a few, I mean 2 characters. From memory. But anyways, I was just getting to the good part, dearie. That's when I killed them all! I murdered them all! I confess to this! I'm playing. Now I could... I don't think Oldbag has murder on her. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, she does got that... She's a mean woman, but I feel like she gets her kicks out of just, abusing everybody around her instead of just killing them. It's when somebody has an anger problem and doesn't express it by being a bitch that you know that they are obviously a serial killer. That is not a piece of advice that you should be taking, by the by. I mean, there's no way to apply that anyways. For one, you'd have to be able to read their minds to know that they're really pissed off on the inside. And 2, you also gotta assume they also got a violent disposition, because this could be somebody who's just angry all the time, but also, not very talkative, but also incapable of, incapable of enacting violence, because, you know, they're just, afraid of blood or some shit, you know? Just doesn't work out, doesn't mesh well. Anyway, I've been talking for you know, whatever. The more I bring attention to my talking, the more obnoxious it becomes, so I just need to ignore it and continue to talk. A+ plan. Yes, good part. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, I was. Now I'm back to sounding like... Now I'm just going full southern. That's not what I was trying to go for. Yes, I was. Shit, I think I forgot it. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Old Hammer and the rest of us have been doing a run through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning, condoms to buy. Okay, I should have started that with something else. I should have been like, donuts, men to see, condoms to buy. If I said that, it would have been the punchline would have hit more, but whatever. Anyways, art of comedy. I'm teaching you kids something. Always set up your jokes before you hit them. Gotta be nonchalant about that too. That's one of those sleeper hits. Okay. Anyway, it was 1 p.m. when I got to the guard station. You already said that. I was at the main gate from then till 5 o'clock. Now the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because I certainly walked right by... A certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers! That man right there! And he was heading towards the studio! Well, guess we're doomed. Can't beat that testimony. Like, for one, if you were gone before that, couldn't somebody have left in between that time? I mean, I guess the camera caught all of those and she didn't see anything suspicious. Fair enough. But it's not a very good testimony. And for one, you said the same thing twice. Oh, something. Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Oh. What? Oh, he's like, Mr. Wright, he was signaling me, signaling Phoenix. And then I was like, yes, Your Honor, I'm on this. I'm on the case. Okay, hold it! You don't want to hear my hold it, do you? You're probably going to get enough of that, probably got enough of that in that Fire Emblem episode. So, up until that time, anyone who wanted to go into the studio... What? Oh, was there anyone who wanted to go into the studio? Or something like that. Well, there wasn't a security guard at the gate, no. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. But the main gate was locked, dearie. You need the employee keycard to get it. What if you just climbed over it? Probably not possible. Why, the keycard that I have. So what she's saying is that no one who wasn't supposed to be there could get in. Was there anyone else at the studios when you arrived at the guard station? Oh wait, no. Was there anyone else at the studio when you arrived at the guard station? Something more like that. I'm working on it, guys, alright? I'm stumbling over my words, but you know what? I feel this recording session. That said, I'm also, like, totally not here right now. Like, my mind is... I feel like my body and my mind... I feel dissonance between my mind and body right now. I feel like I'm high, but I'm most definitely not. Probably. No, okay, I'm not. I'm high off life. Okay. Moving on. A run-through? They were working out a scene between the Steel Samurai and the Evil Magistrate. They got the basics figured out by noon, and were to use the afternoon for practice. Rehearsals were supposed to start at 5. That's evening, not afternoon. That's why poor old Hammer, I mixed up, whatever. That's why poor old Hammer went to Studio 1 in the afternoon. So Powers was in his dressing room sleeping when he was supposed to be practicing? Talk about a laid-back hero. If there was a run-through in the morning, why did you only get there afternoon? Why did you only get there afternoon? Yeah, okay. What kind of errands? Oh, well, you know. Answer the question. Oh, I thought I was just going to transition back, and I was like, what? No! I'll take that as a hard no. Got curbed, Phoenix. Actually, I was watching Boy Hammer and Powers observing, Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station? Whippersnapper! I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job! I'm not sure your boss would see it that way.
Anyways, I've always watched Hammers 1 through. Always! Never missed one in all my years!
Wow, I want to see it. It's Steel Samurai 1 through 2. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty. Not a bad idea.
Anyways, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station.
Hold it! Did you see the victim then?
Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He'd already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station.
Tell us what happened next. I was at the main gate. Whatever! It doesn't matter, I already read that! Moving on! So you were watching the whole time? No breaks? Not even a second?
Of course, I'm a professional, you know! Why are you criticizing how I do my job, whippersnapper?
No, it's just after seeing you eat all those donuts in the guard station yesterday.
I can watch the donut in the gate and eat donuts at the same time! Snipper whapper!
Snipper whapper? Oh, Windbag is losing it, Nick. Why don't you raise an example? Why don't you raise an exception? Damn it, I'm losing it too! Why do I keep tripping over my words? I'm gonna have to redo the entire recording at this rate. I'm not going to. I'm having fun, at very least. At least I'm having fun. Damn it. So the witness on duty. So the witness on duty through the was. Damn it! Again. Focus. I have something. I see it. I feel it. Anyways, that's my Persona 5 playthrough coming out. My second Persona 5 playthrough. So the witness was on duty through the afternoon, the whole time. Very well. What did you see?
Now the murder happened at 2-3 p.m.
Alright, hold it. How did you know that?
Oh ho ho! I have my ways! That overdressed young detective told me. I fed him some donuts and he talked and talked. If you ask me, that detective isn't cut out for his job.
Poor Detective Gumshoe getting chewed out by a security guard. I know, right? You're like a mall cop compared to the Gumshoe. Mind you, of course, Gumshoe is about as competent as a mall cop, but that's not the point. Poor Gumshoe. He doesn't deserve this. I mean, he kind of does, but he's a nice guy, so, you know, I'm obligated to not say that. Okay, yeah. Certain man. 2 o'clock? You're sure? You're sure?
Sure as spit!
Well, who is the man?
Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something.
Judges are like, the fuck? Do you not notice you're old too? Do you not notice you're old too?
Now, don't get your skivvies in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was. It was Powers! That man right there, and he was headed towards the studio!
So you saw Mr. Powers?
That's what I said! Got weird in your axe, Sonny? No, got wax in your ears, Sonny?
Nick, this is your chance. Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon.
I'll say it again! It was him!
Oh, well, that was useful. Usually they skip to like the part where we roll around and say it again. But anyways. Objection! Let me get this straight, Oldbag. Miss Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of near old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag. Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course! Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone could plainly see that's Powers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of of the Steel Samurai. Rather, true that Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai!
I know that! I wasn't born yesterday!
Nobody's accusing it. Damn it, Judge! You're not supposed to be this in sync with me. I'm starting to wonder if this is my previous playthrough subconsciously coming back into my mind, or I'm seriously just totally in sync with the judge. Either way, no one in this course is accusing that. You of that, Miss... witness. He's having trouble calling her Oldbag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in the photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
Nosy old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edwards is surprised?
The prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everybody would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you! It's a court of law!
Oy vey. As opposed to a court of basketball or something, where you don't have to disclose everything like your strategies. That would be really bad, actually. You had to disclose your strategies ahead of time, because then they just wouldn't work. Like, the enemy would be like, that man's... Yeah, I know what this guy's trying to do. He's going to do the crossover move they practice. They're going to do that, and they're going to pass it around, and they'll get the shot. We're going to block them. But then they'd have to adapt the strategy and tell the other person. Like, just a game couldn't happen if that was the case. Unless, you know, you were allowed to lie about your strategy, in which case, that would become a totally different game. It's a very dangerous game. Become like poker. Anyways, back on time.
Anyways, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me
this isn't good as evidence, pal.
He didn't even give it a second look.
Wow, old Windbag has left even Edward speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then.